Well, we are well, but we just heard this news, which made us quite forlorn this morning. Nana Texin has passed. He was a pundit on Showbiz A to Z, a friend of Joy, a friend of all of us. We loved listening to him, and unfortunately, last night, he passed away.
He's an author too. I've read a document that he authored, and sad news.
Very sad news this morning. So this morning we want to crave the indulgence of all of you listening and observe a moment's silence for him. May his soul rest in peace. We understand that Nana died in the afternoon yesterday, so our hearts goes out to the family as well. So on that solemn note, guys, shall we begin with the front pages anymore?
Okay, so on the front page of the Daily Statesman, Macdan rescues Tiong community with 1 million Ghana Cedi school facilities. Mahama boys attack Rawlings, Volta Chiefs over JM 2020 comeback, and let's create entrepreneurial economy. That's according to President Nana Akufo-Addo.
The Daily Heritage has these stories on the front page. Double tracking system Buhaha, government to absorb extra classes fees. This is according to Education Minister. But Crow MCE nominee is not my errand boy. This according to the Member of Parliament, who's also the Minister for Fisheries anyway. But there's a story you should be interested in. Report landlords who take more than 12 months rent to police. This is the Minister in charge of that Works and Housing Department of the Republic of Ghana.
I have a few people to report to myself. I just want to say. Anyway, go ahead.
The Today newspaper, double track temporary but semester system permanent. 10 Atewa into National Park.
10 what?
Hey.
In honor of Nana Sir Oforiatta, the
Anyone?
first.
Etiwa.
10 Etiwa International Park. I thought that was what okay, never mind. Moving on. Macdan launches campaign to eliminate schools under tree. Ayariga hot as Amidu reports him to police.
The Herald is reporting this morning FDA clamped down on fake imports by unapproved borders, and Men's Go denies BOG's claims, insists its operations are legal. And there are also 81 dead companies which are found on the free zones list. Some of them have been converted to church grounds, others converted to so many other activities that they are doing. Anyway,
on the front page of the Daily Guide, cabinet shakeup looms after Boachi Ejako dismissal. Men's Gold dares Bank of Ghana. Don't probe me. Ayariga begs Amidu over tax evasion.
The Chronicle is reporting this morning Ayariga dodging Amidu's dragnet. That's how they put the story. And also on the front page of the paper is the president is supporting people who are in the SME sector with a number of them. This is 1,350 of them. And it has the pictures of the Men's Gold CEO, Apia Mensah, and also the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. And that brouhaha is also raging big time on the Chronicle's front page.
In the Business and Financial Times, sacking Boachi Ejako not enough. That's according to the CSOs. Banks takeover should not lead to job losses. TUC tells Bank of Ghana. SIC Insurance will use Momo to spare penetration. That's from Stephen Odro.
Now, the New Crusading Guide is reporting this morning, First Allied Savings and Loans is not for Kwesi Nyantakyi, and they need to put out that clearly. And they also they call that you should ignore the faces of faceless Osu youth. They are just a propaganda tool. This is Ni Adumwa. And those are the stories the New Crusading Guide presents today.
The Finder, 1,350 get 50 million Ghana cedis. Beneficiaries receive between 10,000 Ghana cedis and 100,000 Ghana cedis to start business. State burial for J.H. Mensah slated for August the 17th. Hands off Sakumono Ramsar sites. Forestry commissioned to chiefs and 400 SHSs to run double track system.
Now, the Ghanaian Observer is reporting this morning, police pursues 600,000 fertilizer thieves. And also on the front page of that paper is what you said about J.H. Mensah.
Stephen.
Yes, Joseph Hendrich. Mensa. And the other story you should be interested in is a double track system.
It's
the part
temporary.
that, yes, it is temporary, but Education Minister has answers for critics. If you have questions, he has answers for you on this particular matter.
And finally, from me, the Ghanaian Times. Government to spend 1.4 billion on free SHS as double track system takes off in September. And on the back page, more than 8,000 packets of fake drugs have been seized in the Volta region, and these include steroids, test kits, and antibiotics.
The Daily Graphic has all of the stories you've heard before, but there is a story that you should be interested into now. There's a call for us to deepen awareness of inclusive education. This is according to the Ghana Education Campaign Coalition, and they are urging the GES to do that in connection with our flagship program that we are rolling out. But there's a special report in page 28 of the graphic. Koforidjian's unending battle with hawkers. And the situation is there. The action is not working, even though we tried several other things in times past. Those are the stories. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Raymond. Anima, let's begin with you. The Men's Gold
Men's
saga.
Gold dares BOG. So for the second time this year, the Bank of Ghana has released a statement to notify the public that in spite of several cautions to Men's Gold Ghana Limited to desist from solicitation, receipt of money, and payment of dividends to its clients, the company persists in its deposits taking activity, which is in breach of Section 6(1) of the Banks and Specialized Deposit Taking Institutions Act of 2016. The Bank of Ghana is saying that anyone who transacts any of the above-mentioned businesses with Men's Gold Ghana Company Limited is doing so at his or her own risk, and the Bank of Ghana will not be liable in the event of loss or investment of deposits. Now, what's happening is that the Minerals Commission and Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources have told Joy Business that the license that Men's Gold is currently holding does not allow the firm to take deposits as well as to trade in the derivatives or sell products that are likened to derivative trading. All these institutions have told Joy Business Men's Gold was only given the license to trade and buy gold. So apparently, and according to both the Bank of Ghana and the Minerals Commission and Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Men's Gold is not authorized to be doing what they are doing. However, in a sharp rebuttal, on Tuesday, the Chief Executive Officer, Nana Appiah-Mensah, says on his Twitter page, today's joke, Bank of Ghana, so now they do propaganda. I beg, pa. Tell Ghanaians exactly what happened with the 5 or so collapsed banks you duly licensed and supervised for years. Please don't attempt to use our dear Men's Gold to cover up. I beg, make we think. So a lot of the industry analysts are saying that the reason why the Bank of Ghana keeps on hammering on this particular point is to insulate themselves from any legal action in case the company fails to deliver on its promises to customers or if it collapses.
All right, on that derivative note, let's move on to issues of the special prosecutor.
Yes, the special prosecutor is actually going hard on Mahama Yaga, who is Bako Central MP. Mr. Martin Amidu has revealed that there's been attempts by the Member of Parliament to stop investigations into the suspected commission of corruption and corruption-related activities or offences. Now, he says in a statement that he issued yesterday that Mr. Amidu, Mr. Yaga, of course, was sending some personal friends, former colleagues, chiefs, pastors, amongst others, to beg him to stop investigations which he's already commenced, and the fact he produces in this particular end. He says that after taking preliminary investigations into the suspected commission of corruption and corruption-related offences, including the abuse of public office for private gain by the MP, who was a former minister, who is a lawyer too, his office, that's the Special Prosecutor's Office, decided that there were sufficient grounds to invite the suspect for the conduct of full investigations into the allegations. But this could not happen because his investigative arm was not complete. So the suspect was supposed to go to Ioko, which he had the right to engage to do the investigations for him. Apparently, Mr. Yaga never turned up at Ioko. Instead of going to Ioko, Martin Amidu is saying that Mr. Yaga has been sending all the people I mentioned, there are plenty, from his former colleagues, his friends, chiefs, and other people to come and beg him to stop the investigation. But what is this investigation really about? Mr. Amidu is saying that the preliminary investigations pertain to the importation of into Ghana through corrupt means and corruption-related activities 3 Toyota Land Cruiser V8 vehicles by using a parliamentary resolution dated April 7, 2017, contracting a facility of 22,500 cedis, dollars in this case. So you know that MPs are giving loans to go and buy cars. Mr. Yaga's loan, he decided to use it to buy used cars and not new ones. So this is part of the issues, and it's part of the complaints that the gentleman Martin Amidu is making in this case. In fact, he believes that was for the purchase of a new vehicle, but as it's supposed to be done for all 275 MPs. The investigations, he said, has started, but Mr. Yaga is still failing to comply with the directives from IOCO and all the other institutions. He gives the car numbers of these cars, which are also supposed to be submitted to IOCO for further investigation to be conducted to them. His main complaint is that you cannot, through corruption and corruption-related activities, procure these cars by using a parliamentary resolution. And he did so by abusing his office as a member of parliament, which is what is being contested in this particular case. He's warning him to desist from using friends, family, and all the other people that are known to Mr. Amidu to try and beg him to stop the investigation into this important activity.
I wish he would name some of these people.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to name
that
his
would
friends.
really step things
Anyway,
up, wouldn't it?
and he's also pledging that he will not be cowed or prevented from doing his work by the use of friends and other people to try and get him off an investigation he believes will go somewhere. So we are yet to see whether Mr. Yaga's response will be okay.
We have been trying to get a comment from him. We've been unsuccessful in that
Yes.
regard since yesterday when the story broke.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get a comment.
So we'll see what his response will be. And interestingly, the man Martin Amidu also sent a similar report to Parliament of the Republic of Ghana that they should release the man so that they can go and deal with him at IOCO.
Right.
As investigations are required in this case. And it's already call him a suspect anyway.
It's interesting to note that since his investigative arm has not been set up yet, he's now collaborating with IOCO.
Yeah.
That's the kind of inter-departmental collaboration that we are looking for. We'll keep an eye on that one.
IOCO could not do that job in times past. And the interdepartmental collaboration will work now.
Well, let's thank our God that
IOCO. That's why we brought special
prosecutor in the first place.
Yes.
So I'm surprised you are asking
still using the same structure.
Anyways, but the question is, why has his investigative arm not been set up yet? Because it did take us close to about a year to set up his office in the first place for the law to be passed. One would have thought that those other elements would have been worked out while we were waiting for the law to be passed. But
yes,
anyway.
But also about 4 weeks ago here on the News Review, we did a story where the president did say that he was going to work really quickly to make funds available for Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu.
So the president said he is going to work really quickly to make funds available. Okay.
You know we've been through this before, right?
Let's move on. What's the gender ministry saying anyway?
Okay, so some panelists and stakeholders, as well as the gender minister and the Commissioner for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Mr. Joseph Whittle, have called for an amendment of Section 26 of Ghana's Criminal Offences Act to better protect children found culpable of committing crime. So the current law states that any child 12 years or more found to have committed a crime would face the full rigors of the law and be subjected to a juvenile justice system. However, the current system which prosecutes minors, particularly of sexual crimes, the argument is that it's extremely harsh and is an affront to children's rights and protection. So they're calling for the adoption of what is known as the Romeo and Juliet approach. And this is what it does. It seeks to forgive or reduce punishment meted out to children, considering the ages of the persons, especially when it comes to sexual acts. So what this is doing is that it's focusing on three main areas of child protection, including child online protection, age of consent to sex and marriage, and corporal punishment. A paper that was presented at this workshop shows that 80% of children in Ghana are getting involved in sexual activities before they turn 16. And whilst they're continuing to insist that the present age of consensual sex and marriage at 16 and 18 is or can remain in Ghana's law, the paper is calling for the decriminalization of teen sexuality because its implications mostly destroy the future of children instead of reforming them. So what they're asking is that if you have sex with a child who is under the age of 16, the weight of the law should be on the person who is older as opposed to on the child who is under 16. That's it. So that's what they're calling for.
That means that at the moment, both persons are liable are liable offenders under the law.
As long as you're over 12. The punishment is almost the same.
Okay.
So they're just saying that even though, and also because
let's shift the blame to the adults in the case.
Let's shift the blame to the adults.
That's fine. Raymond, let's move on and talk about free SHS.
Yesterday, the press conference happened. They meet the press to outdoor to let people understand and better appreciate the double track system, which the ministry touts as the second role of activities required for a proper implementation of the free SHS. So basic things was repeated there, that in the year 2017, SHS enrollment increased by 17.2. It is expected to double or increase by 30.7 in 2018. This year, the country has to incur an additional cost if we want to do it and build all the things, 1.34 in the coming year to make it work. But the double track will reduce that to 323,000 if you want to go with the current number. Contrary to the expectation that all the number of schools, 696, will have to be going through the double track system, only 400 schools will be available and will be needed for that particular system. We're also being told that two things. The semester system is permanent. So, like the universities have, instead of having 3 terms, there's going to be 2 terms, which will be the semester.
Okay.
Yes, but the double track system, as we are being told, will last for 5 to 7 years. Within that period, the hope is that government will be able to put up the needed infrastructure, not only to meet increasing demand for higher education, but also the higher numbers that are required at that particular level. There's an interesting part. The minister mentioned that private schools are going to be involved. The only interesting part now is that they were just asked last week to confirm the schools that they've chosen.
The 5.
Yes, the 5 schools.
Options, yeah.
So if they have cleared all 5 schools, how do you then get the same sort of schools to go to private schools? When you say you not give them schools they've not chosen.
Well, at the moment, what we know is that when persons are not placed with the previous system, when persons are not placed, they then go for a reselection, and you know that
yes, and that's within their options.
Yes, that's but even in these 5 schools,
yes,
after in this system, the plan is to have them select schools themselves out of a list of available schools. If after the first round they don't get any, they are trying to work against this whole issue of people going to school and people having to go later. But then at the moment, we don't know if that will happen. They are now stress testing the system. So let's see what will come out of that.
Okay. So private sector involvement has now been agreed on.
With about 15 schools, I understand.
Yes, in the first part. We see how they can roll out the rest, because the post said they had over 1,000 or 100,000 available spaces. If you really wanted to inculcate them, you could have done so right from the beginning.
Right, thank you very much, Raymond. Let's move online. And the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, Goyle Good Energy. And you can download the Safe Doctor app now from the Google Play Store. Safe Doctor, the future of better medical care. You've got great love for your vehicle. You want the engine to last longer and perform to its maximum. It's okay. Goyle has the new super synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubricants for you. These specially engineered superior engine oils work efficiently on all modern petrol and diesel engines. They clean, reduce fuel consumption, protect, prolong oil change intervals, and enhance engine performance from the startup till you switch off. Go to any Goyle filling station and grab the new Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Engineering innovation for your vehicle has arrived and is available at Goyle Good Energy. The Skills Development Fund invites all micro, small, and medium enterprises across the country to apply for grant support to improve the capacity of their workforce for enhanced productivity and competitiveness. Public and private training institutions are also invited to apply for support to develop innovative training content for the private sector. The application window is open till 31st August 2018. Enterprises in agribusiness and renewable energy sectors and those owned or managed by women are especially encouraged to apply. To apply, visit sdfghana.org, Skills Development Fund, Skilling Ghana for Sustainable Development. Now is the time to own a Zenith MasterCard. Apply for a Zenith MasterCard debit or prepaid card from any Zenith Bank branch nationwide and enjoy two great things: no issuance fee and a chance to receive a gift of a prepaid card with a preloaded amount of the CD equivalent of $50. Isn't this exciting? Don't be left out. Sign up for your Zenith MasterCard debit or prepaid card today. Offer is available to account and non-account holders. Terms and conditions apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. MyJoyOnline.com is where we begin. Shareholders and directors of defunct UT Capital Bank engaged in willful deceit. BOG speaking there. We'll be delving more into this. Bring you more details of that BOG report during the show. Now, KPMG has denied involvement in recent banking awards. Double Track removes pressure to secure 1 billion Ghana cedis for infrastructure development. Education Minister. Factoid there, we are securing 8 billion Ghana cedis to cover the hole left by these 7 banks. Ameri Saga, minority wants Bedieto sacked. I would have dissolved state institutions if they were football clubs. Kusi Buafo, Chief Executive Officer of the Public Sector Reform, says. Love FM's Erastus grabs a pearl and walks down the aisle in style. Reporter 1 Erastus Asaridonko, congratulations to you. Go on myjoyonline.com and catch those pictures of that amazing wedding over the weekend. PrimeNewsGhana.com says TV3 staff demands sex from Ghana's most beautiful contestants. Former contestant speaks there. That's it for the news and online review. We will make way for the BBC News at 7 now. But on a solemn note, let's remember, this is the last time Nana Texin was on air here on Joy FM. Let's hear his final words.
Nana Texin.
Yes. No.
What say you?
It's very sad, you know. Forgive me, I have a little cold, so forgive. But we've had these problems with the Miss Ghana, and right from the Shelley Times, the Sparrow production bit also, where Mariam herself had issues with Sparrow. You remember? She took Sparrow to court because some of her prices were not given to her. It's quite sad that now when she comes into the whole system, she rather is also having challenges, which...
This was Kwame's life before Interplast In Green Irrigation System.